What is going on, everybody? Today I'm going to be previewing the 2025 college football schedule for the Illinois Fighting Illini. I'm going to go through every single game on their 2025 schedule and predict every game and predict their record. I'm excited to talk about this team because they have some interesting storylines heading into next season. Before we preview their schedule, let's talk about this team. And this is a team that is top 3 in the country for return and production. Although they took some hits in the spring transfer portal window, I still have great expectations for this team, especially on defense. They lost their top back from last season and Josh McCray, a guy that was the MVP in their bowl game against South Carolina. And they also lose their number one receiver in Pat Bryant, a guy that's going to do great things in the NFL. So although they returned some very good return in production, they're losing some big pieces on offense. So offensively, this team does have some question marks, but they do not have a gauntlet of a schedule, and they have a veteran quarterback in Luke Altmaier. And they kind of replace the loss of Pat Bryant. They pick up West Virginia's top receiver in Hudson Clement. He could definitely be their wide receiver number 1, possibly number 2. They got a veteran offensive line, and the running back room is still good with Caden Fegan and Aiden Lottery back. And they return one of the top tight ends in the Big Ten in Tanner Arkin. Offensively, I don't think they're going to be great. I think they'll just be solid. This is an offense that struggled to score points last season. They only scored 7 points against Penn State. They got destroyed against Oregon, but they did end their season on a good note, beating South Carolina. But defensively, they have a lot of seniors coming back, and I honestly think they could have a ruthless defensive line with some of the additions they have added, most importantly James Thomas Jr. James Thomas Jr. had 29 tackles, 5 TFLs, and 3 sacks for Wisconsin on the defensive line in 2023. He's a guy that has battled injury, but he could be a monster for them on the defensive line. They don't have the most talented rosters, but most of their starters are all seniors. They are one of the most experienced teams in the country, and I have reason to believe that this Illinois team is going to have another successful season. And they have the schedule that favors them. So without further ado, let's get into predicting that schedule. Illinois will open the season with Western Illinois at home. This will be an easy start for this Illinois football team. This is a Western Illinois team with a very bad defense. They were not good at all last season. In fact, they give up 77 points to Indiana last season. I expect Illinois to blow out Western Illinois and move to 1-0, nothing much to say here. But Illinois will then go on the road to play a tricky Duke team. Duke is a team that is adding one of the most electric quarterbacks from the group of 5 in Darian Mensah. He had a really good year for Tulane last season as a dual threat quarterback. But overall, I just don't think Duke has the talent. They had a solid record last year, but the schedule was pretty easy. They lost some solid production, and I think Illinois has more veterans and a better all-around team to get this win on the road. I think this could be a close game, but Illinois should take it over in the second half because of their experience. I like Darian Mensah at quarterback, but I'm just not sure about the team he has around him. So give me Illinois to win this game and move to 2-0. Illinois will then play Western Michigan at home. This actually could be a trickier game than people think. This Western Michigan team actually could be solid next year in the MAC. They have okay return in production, and they added some really good pieces out of the portal. They have solid defensive upside. They did challenge Wisconsin early season last season. Western Michigan returns a very good back at running back in Jalen Buckley, a guy that's been very solid for this team over the last 2 years. They have some veteran seniors on the team coming back. I think this could be a sneaky team in the MAC. But regardless, they don't stand a chance against Illinois. Give me Illinois to win this game and move to 3-0. Illinois will open conference play with a very important matchup on the road at Indiana, and I'm definitely 50-50 on this game. But honestly, I don't trust Illinois to win this game on the road. I think Curt Cignetti is a great head coach, and I still think Indiana is going to be a pretty good football team. They still have NFL talent on the defense, and they return a 1,000-yard receiver in Elijah Surratt. They add Fernando Mendoza at quarterback. I'm going to be honest, I think he could be an upgrade from the quarterback they had last season in Curtis Wark. They will have some questions on the offensive line. They have some new pieces there. And they didn't do as good in the portal this season as they did last season, but I still think they're going to be really good. I could see them taking a step back because they definitely have a tougher schedule. But I do think this is a winnable game for Indiana. I know Illinois has good experience, but Indiana honestly does too. And Indiana has a good head coach, and they have this game at home. I do think Illinois will slip up in this game and move to 3-1. They will then play USC at home. This is going to be another game that's definitely losable for Illinois. I'm expecting USC to take another step forward defensively. And offensively, I could see them taking a step forward as well. Jenamayava has some question marks at quarterback, but he should be solid. And they do return two of their top receivers from last season, and Jacoby Lane, and of course, Makai Lemon. I don't know if next year is the year that Lincoln Riley gets this team to break through in the Big Ten, but if you look at the recruiting, man, they are recruiting very well. Even if Lincoln Riley has another 7 to 8 win season, maybe a mediocre season, I still think his job is in good hands right now. I think he's safe right now. Another guy that they actually added on offense that I have to mention is Prince Strachan, the Boise State wide receiver, one of the top receivers from last season. They also have a very underrated backfield with Eli Sanders and Waymon Jordan, two transfers. Overall, when I look at the roster, I see a very good roster. I did have Illinois losing on the road at Indiana. I think they will get a close, hard-fought win against USC at home. They have the experience, so give me Illinois to move to 4-1. Illinois will then play Purdue on the road. Now, last season, Illinois actually almost lost to Purdue. It was one of Purdue's best games of the season. They scored 49 points, but still ended up losing. We know how bad that Purdue team was last season. And I don't expect them to be that great next season. They will definitely be better with the head coach in Barry Odom. They made some solid additions, but there are a lot of unproven faces joining the team. I do think Barry Odom could make it work. Maybe they get a couple of Big Ten wins. But man, there's still a ton of work to do with this Purdue team. I trust Barry Odom, but it's going to take time. So give me Illinois to get this win and move to 5-1. They will then get Ohio State at home. This could be a game where they have potential to shock the college football world. And they're definitely going to be looking for that big upset. They have it at home. And Illinois has the potential to show that they are a legit contender in the Big Ten. Do I think it is going to happen? No, I think Ohio State's on another level. I think guys like Jeremiah Smith, Connell Tate, and Brandon Ennis are just going to be too much for that Illinois secondary. And sometimes when you play talented football teams, they are just too much. It doesn't matter how much experience you have. I like this Illinois team, but I still think there's talented teams steps ahead of them, and Ohio State is one of those teams. I'm expecting them to be very good again, especially midway and near the end of the season. Give me Illinois to lose this game at home. It will probably be a loss by a couple of possessions. And I do have them moving to 5-2. They then catch a break with a bye week, but they will have to go on the road to play Washington, one of the tougher places to play in the country. Now look, I think Washington's going to be a pretty solid Big Ten team as well next season. Look, I know a lot of people are very high in this Illinois team, but they did not have a super tough schedule. And like I said, there's questions on offense. They only scored 7 points against Penn State last season. And I don't think it's super realistic to predict an easy playoff run for Illinois just because of the production they return. You have to really evaluate the rosters, and sometimes just because you had a good season prior, it doesn't mean you're going to be good again. But Washington, on the other hand, they got a rising quarterback in Damon Williams. I think he's going to be a breakout quarterback. They got Jonah Coleman back at running back. They got solid options at wide receiver. They got a great coaching staff and a defense that I can trust. They added Jacob Manu and Takario Davis, two very elite players. I'm really liking this Washington team. I think they'll be similar to USC. They'll take a step forward, maybe not quite a Big Ten title contender. But with them having this game at home, I think they have the talent to beat Illinois. So I'm going to say Illinois drops a tough one. I have them losing to Washington, and I have them moving to 5-3. They will then get Rutgers at home. Rutgers is a team that is nearly top of the Big Ten in return in production. I think they're going to be a scrappy team once again, and they got a good head coach. They got their quarterback in Athan Kaliakamanis back. They do lose their top running back, but if you look at the roster, they have a lot of veterans. I do think they will be solid, maybe a bowl team. But I do trust Illinois with their experience at home in this game. I think they have a better roster. Give me Illinois to win this game and move to 6-3. Illinois kind of catches a break from the competition. They get a couple of home games. After the bye week, they will play Maryland, and I'm expecting Maryland to be one of the worst teams in the Big Ten, possibly one of the worst Power 4 teams. They are just not looking great next season. They lost a ton of production. The running back room is a question mark. The quarterback position is a question mark as well. The line of scrimmage is a question mark. There's so many question marks on this team. They have a lot of young talent. I think they're very much in rebuild mode. And Maryland hasn't been a good Big Ten team in recent memory. They had that solid year with Tualia Tagovailoa. But outside of that, they just don't have that many great seasons. and I don't expect them to be great next season. Give me Illinois to win this game and move to 7-3. Illinois really has some tricky road games. They will go on the road to play Wisconsin. Wisconsin is a tough place to play. Luckily, I'm not too high in this Wisconsin team at all. I have really backed off of Luke Fickell. I don't see them making a bowl game next season with one of the toughest schedules in college football. In fact, I think they have the toughest Big Ten schedule. They have a brutal slate. And I think there's just going to be too much that brings this team down. And I like Illinois to get this win on the road. They had that loss to Washington. They've been road tested. I think they can win this game on the road and move to 8-3. And they will finish the season with Northwestern at home. I do think Northwestern could be okay next season. I do think Northwestern could get a couple of wins next season in the Big Ten. Preston Stone is a sneaky pickup at quarterback, and they do have a good coaching staff, and they are a team that could definitely pick up wins, but they just aren't that talented, and I do expect them to be one of the worst teams in the Big Ten, and I think Illinois will comfortably win this game at home and move to 9-3 on the season. So there you have it. That is my prediction for Illinois football in 2025. Yes, I do think they will miss out on the playoffs. I could see this team being around 8-4 or 9-3. I have them at 9-3, but realistically, I don't see them going 10-2. I still think there's some question marks on offense and they don't have the talent. And that's just my honest opinion. I think they'll be good, but they won't quite be at that top tier in the Big Ten. But you guys let me know your thoughts on Illinois down in the comments below. And let me remind you guys to like the video and also subscribe to the channel and turn on notifications so you never miss an upload. And if you guys love college football, then you'll love this channel because we upload a ton of college football content and we basically cover everything on this channel. So definitely consider subscribing and also consider checking out my socials down in the description below. But that is going to do it, guys, and peace out.